Welcome back to the locker room. I am Captain Paul. That is Fajardo. What's going on there, brother?
Not much, just chilling. Another day.
Well, we have some big NHL news to coverage. Before we get into that, though, I will say we apologize for not having uploads relatively recently. I've had some hip injuries. Jar's been busy with work, so just haven't had an opportunity to record, but we're getting back into daily uploads. So look forward to that and make sure to subscribe for more content. Let's get into Tage Thompson signing a pretty rich deal here with the Buffalo Sabres. So Thompson agrees to a 7-year contract extension with the Sabres. The forward will make $7.14 million annually, NHL career highs in goals, assists, and points last season. Tage Thompson agreed to the 7-year, $50 million contract extension with the Buffalo Sabres on Tuesday. The contract, which starts next season, has an annual average of $7.14 million. The 24-year-old forward has one season remaining on a 3-year deal worth $4.2 million on the contract, $1.4 annually. He signed with Buffalo on October 5th, 2020. He set NHL career highs in goals last season with 38 goals, 30 assists, and 68 points in 78 games. This is what Kevin Adams had to say. Tage Thompson embodies the pride we expect from every player who wears the Buffalo Sabres sweater. His success last season is a testament to his unrelenting dedication to his craft, commitment to bettering the team both on and off the ice, which we believe will help us reach greater heights moving forward. This is what Thompson had to say about last season. This is a place I want to be at for a very long time, he said in May. I want to be a guy that helps this team win, make playoffs, and win a Stanley Cup. Obviously, those are all just words, and you've got to put that into action. I'm excited to be a guy that's a Buffalo Sabre. I think we've got a lot of guys in the room that feel the same way about our team. He is actually a former first-round pick by St. Louis, 26th overall. He has 103 points, 56 goals, 47 assists, and 223 regular season games with the Sabres and the Blues. He was a part of that deal sending Ryan O'Reilly over to the Blues. I think obviously most of that production is relatively recently. So, it's always good to see a guy get paid. But let's kind of go into the statistics here. In Hockey DB, because I feel like this kind of gives a more well-rounding. I do remember Tage Thompson playing in Connecticut, especially because he was a pretty fucking big boy, right? So,
6'6".
Yeah, he's a big boy. In University of Connecticut, he was just shy under a point per game. And, his first season in the NHL, 41 games played, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. Getting a cup of coffee in the NHL, trying to get used to the game. He gets dealt to the Sabres, 2018, 2019, 65 games played, 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points. Like that looks like right. That looks like a fourth line grinder at that point, right? Like nothing spectacular. Then in 2019, 2020, he only played 1 game for the Sabres with 0 points. Then 2020 to 2021, 30 games played, 8 goals, 6 assists for 14 points. Like that, you can see an uptick, right? You're like, oh, only 14 points, but in 38 games, that's solid production. That seems like maybe a bottom 6 guy, more of a third line guy. But this past season, I think it just clicked for him. 78 games played, 38 goals, 30 assists, 68 points. This man, it looks like he's going to be developing into a fine player. So what are your thoughts about this deal? And is there any concerns you have about the Sabres committing this much money, this much term to a guy that I feel like just thus far, that's the only season he's shown this type of production?
My concern is, was it just a flash, right? Sometimes some guys just have that one real good season, right? And considering he's still very young, I'm not saying he's not going to reach those heights again, but let's face some facts here. It's too early to tell, right? He's 24 still, so there is room for growth, but yeah, he reached 103 points. We don't know if he can do that again. I mean, it's I think I don't think they should have given that to him flat out just like that. I think maybe it should have been more around like the $5 million with stipulations. Hey, if you reach this amount of points, we'll give you this much more, and if you reach this, whatever, like just stipulations to merit all that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because again, it's the first time he's gotten that high of a point production, and you don't know if he's going to be able to repeat that.
Well, and I think the problem I have, like, he's young, right? Because people, oh, he's drafted in like what 2016, but he's only 24 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's still got a lot of hockey left, and maybe he's finally reaching that maturation process and turning the corner. But let's get into the cap friendly here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Sabres, and this is with the addition of, I believe with the addition of the Tage Thompson. Well, no, it's going to be in effect next year, but they have 19 million in cap space, right? Mm-hmm. So he's going to be going from 1.4 up to 7. So essentially, what, like a $6 million raise?
Yeah.
So then they're still going to have about 13 million in cap space to decide out their pieces. I am slightly shocked because he had 1 year left on his deal, right? You already made the mistake with Jeff Skinner giving him that big deal, right?
Yep.
I mean, look at this Jeff Skinner deal. 9 million. Like he's got 5 more seasons of 9 million. Is Jeff Skinner really a $9 million player? I mean, I wouldn't say so. I think he kind of had a resurgence last year. And it just seems like I think I like a lot about Buffalo's done. They've kind of completely embraced the rebuild, right? They've embraced that, they're going to have to do certain things to kind of be successful. But, quite frankly, they're kind of like following same things over and over again. Welcome back. A little bit of technical difficulties here. But going back into the subject of the Tage Thompson, I do think he's, I think this is kind of a repeating of errors from the Jeff Skinner signing, and I think that this could come bite them in the ass, I should say. The one thing I don't like, it looks like there was maybe there was later on a no movement clause, but I think that this deal should be, it could go really well or it could go really bad. There's no in-betweens with this because $7 million is still a significant price to put on a player like Tage Thompson. He had one really good year, but I think probably around $5 million would have been a little bit more of a digestible range, at least in my opinion. So, anything else to add there, Fajardo?
No, I think it's one of those situations like they should have put stipulations on it. Like you only get $7 million if if you're getting over 50 points, you're winning over 50% of your face-offs. Considering he's a center, there should be a lot of stipulations on a contract like this because it's still not proven. Or even saying, hey, this will be your contract if you put up the same numbers again this season.
No, I think that's kind of. I think that's kind of fair. I think they probably would have been better off doing like a bridge deal for a year or two. Mm-hmm. You're seeing if he could prove that he can repeat this production, because I just think it's far too much. The only thing I'll say is the Sabres have a lot of draft capital, obviously coming up, especially next year. They have 3 second-round picks. I think, the Sabres have a lot of talent that is going to be coming in, so maybe they're kind of counting on this youth movement to keep developing guys, and the minors keep developing. And
next year's draft class is supposed to be a better one than this year's draft class. So, I mean, again, I think they're overpaid. I guess you're looking at Kyle Oposo. I'm pretty sure they're not going to re-sign him after this season. I don't see why they would re-sign him, especially at a $6 million contract. I mean,
but if he came back and signed for like $1 million or $2 million,
right, for $1 million, right? Again, I don't see this Kyle Oposo coming back. You know what I mean? Like
no.
$6 million. What you would consider an elite sniper, because that's all he ever was. He's like one of those grindy guys that can score, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna do everything else, all the fancy stuff. He can just score. He always knew how to find the net. Now, is he worth $6 million right now? Definitely not in this NHL. Like it's a younger NHL. Most teams are starting to get into that younger phase,
Yeah.
and he's on the tail end of his career. Not worth $6 million. Sorry.
No, he's not worth $6 million. I think, for me, kind of wrapping up my thoughts on this, the one benefit to Tage Thompson, I referenced Skinner, but Tage Thompson and Skinner played really well together. He made Jeff Skinner
A better player. Yeah.
worth at least like 75% of that contract. Like Skinner last season had, 33 goals, 30 assists for 63 points in 80 games.
Yeah.
Was it that 40 goal season? No. But Skinner's kind of always been up and down when it comes to goal scoring. The 2 years prior he was just anemic. He was awful.
Yeah.
Maybe this is Buffalo's insurance policy because they realize we have Skinner for another 5 years. We want to put a guy around him that it works well with, and we can kind of, at least see some return on that investment.
Right. So. And let me, I want to correct myself. I said a few numbers earlier that was a little off. He did score 103 points. He only had 68 points, 38 goals, 30 assists. I apologize. But yeah, I mean, again, I just don't think there's enough there to warrant a $7 million contract off the bat. Now, again, if like you said, if they bridged it where they were like, okay, you know what, if you get to even the same area of this of what you did last season, we'll give you this contract with stipulations, blah blah. I think that would be a much better use of their capital, and I think that would guarantee the fire stays lit. Right?
Yeah.
Because you gave this guy $7 million for the next 7 years. I mean, a lot of guys, want to prove that. Cool, he's 24. He probably isn't that I want to prove stage and everything else. But there are some guys that'll take that money and then just relax because they know they're gonna get paid for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
No.
I'm
not saying that's what he's gonna do. I'm not saying that's his character. But you have to take everything into consideration because as a franchise, you've been burned quite a lot, right? And you don't want to get burned again. And even if you put stipulations, I don't think you're wrong for putting stipulations because it's like saying, all right, I'm gonna go to a car dealership, right? And it's a fairly new car dealership. They just had a really good year selling cars. I'm gonna give them, 100K, and I hope they get me a good car.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's I agree.
You know what I mean?
It's going to be an interesting situation to see kind of how things go with this contract.
Yeah, for the Sabre fans, listen, I hope it pans out for you guys. Like, I'm rooting for you on this one. I hope that this kid becomes the star that you guys have needed for quite some time.
And especially a hometown kid like him growing up in Oyster Bay and like around the Buffalo. I think this is, hopefully it does work out. Hopefully kind of shows that commitment and success.
Yeah.
So let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think of this signing? Do you think it was smart? Do you think it was a bad idea? Give us all your analysis down below. We'll be interested to read it and to reply. So for the locker room, I am Captain Paul. That is Fajardo, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.